Um, yeah, first of all, how did you get involved with the whole CCSVI in Mexico project?
Well, of course, like most Canadians, we were glued to our televisions. In 2009, when Dr. Zamboni made his big announcement about the liberation procedure and about the possible connections to multiple sclerosis, and that there could be another side of the story to investigating the disease besides just the neurological avenue, and that the vascular components to the illness hadn't really been explored until the research had been picked up again by Dr. Zamboni. And so when I was diagnosed in 2005, I had been on every possible drug that the neurologist could offer me, including one that was life-threatening and very expensive, $6,800 a month, and with the risk of death increasing with each dose. So I spoke to my doctor and said, I've had enough with drugs, what else could I do? And she had a patient, Joyce J., which I am free to use her name, who had been to Mexico to see Dr. Moguel in Cabo. And she connected me with Joyce. And I learned that Joyce had done a lot of research about Dr. Moguel and his treatments of patients in Mexico. And so I asked her 100 million questions. Why Mexico? Why Dr. Moguel? Why not Germany or the States or whatever? And I really was searching for answers to where I could go to get treated. And all my questions were answered, and I felt very confident with the skills of Dr. Moguel because she had researched it herself and had been there and been treated and had good results and had much positive answers to say about her treatment in Mexico, how well she was treated, the knowledge of the staff and the team, and Dr. Moguel's knowledge and his experience and expertise. And the big thing was that there was no waiting list, as opposed to the States where you could be on a waiting list for over a year, and in that year your symptoms could become so bad that oftentimes it's harder to treat the illness.
Yeah. Well, I know for myself, I had been following the whole CCSVI kind of knowledge that was coming out, and I almost thought it was too good to be true. You know, it seemed like I've had MS for 40 years, and I've been following the latest understanding of MS, and really there didn't seem to be anything that had any really big hope for MS people. But so when I heard about CCSVI, I'm still kind of skeptical. I was basically sitting on the fence about the whole CCSVI possibilities for several years. But more and more studies did seem to be coming out from around the world, especially overseas. We didn't see all of the studies in Canada. And anyway.
And that was quite interesting too, because you live in Ontario and I live in Nova Scotia, which is fairly far apart, and we didn't know each other until last year when Tim Donovan, another man in Canada, was doing a cross-country tour to raise awareness for MS. And it just so happened that I met Tim. He spoke and talked about CCSVI treatment the year before, and like Richard, I was apprehensive. Oh, I'm not sure whether it'll work, whether I'll do it. And so he said, you've got nothing to lose. Go and have the dye injected and see if you have blockages that drain your brain and your spinal cord. Just go and see if you have narrowed veins. And so Richard and I ended up working on the Cross Canada tour, and we spoke on the phone and we emailed back and forth to help Tim just set up some places in Canada where he could speak to others about the new hope, the hope that it offers patients that live with no hope. Over 500 Canadians die each year from MS complications. So Richard and I never really met until we
came here.
came to
Until
Mexico.
Cozumel.
Yeah.
And I was treated a couple weeks before Richard. And it was very exciting. But I had to sort of convince Richard that it was a good thing to do, that he had nothing to lose and to try it.
Yeah, well, I actually was tested in Barrie, Ontario, by a Dr. Sandy McDonald, who you probably know, and
Yes.
and the results were positive. I had 3 blockages, at least 3 blockages, and so anyway, when you got here, how do you feel about where we are right now? About the hotel and about the clinic.
Well, I haven't traveled for years because of my disability, and I mean just the excitement of seeing another country and meeting new people and seeing new sights was exciting in itself. But to arrive, and at first you're apprehensive because you think it's a different language, you're not sure of little things like money value and exchanges and everything. But when I arrived, it was great because the coordinator at the hospital, Maria, met us, and even the simplest questions that I had were answered by her. And all along, everything was set up into place that I had no concerns or no worries, because between the coordinator and the hotel staff and the medical team, I felt in the best of care.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I'll have to say that even the meals at the hospital were fantastic, which is
Yeah.
which is a novelty for hospital food to be so home cooked, and everybody was lovely, and this was an amazing experience for me, both to feel better, to have hope that I have better days ahead, and to meet such beautiful people in a lovely place. I couldn't be more pleased. I'm not disappointed with any of it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I wish that our Canadian government and our hospital programs were as compassionate to us as we have been treated here, because all along, I mean, it's wonderful. I even had a problem getting my shoes on one day, and a lady who couldn't speak any English was cleaning around me, and she bent down and untied my shoes to help me take my shoe off.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
just so kind.
we have to say that the Mexican hospitality has been just unbelievable for first rate. We hear lots of stories in the north. We usually hear the not so nice stories. We hear the sensational stories, but we don't hear about the heart of the Mexicans. We don't hear about the wonderful hospitality.
I am very convinced that the CCSVI theory is correct. I wonder how it happened so long time to recognize the words of Dr. Putnam by the 30s in the past century. He was alerting the doctors, the neurologists, about the vascular origin of multiple sclerosis. Nobody heard him. Nobody listened or paid attention to him, unfortunately. But we have a chance now to listen at his theories. Now, Dr. Zamboni put a very important attention to that, and now many places in the world are treating the multiple sclerosis this way, and there is a lot of evidence, mainly the anatomopathological ones, more than 100 years ago by Reed Fleischer. and and by Dr. Chaco, that is clear that there is a correlation between the vascular problem and the neurological problem, as many other brain diseases that are caused by a vascular problem, like in this case.